Hello everyone, Ariam here, and welcome back to another episode of Draw and Discuss. Now, you won't always be getting 2 episodes a month, but here's a little treat for you, so I hope you enjoy. Today's topic sounds a little silly, but it's actually one of the most hotly debated controversies within paleontology. Did dinosaurs have lips? Now, if you have no idea what that's supposed to mean, think of it as the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, especially Rexy, the T-Rex. Her teeth were exposed at all times, regardless of if her mouth was open or closed. So that would be an example of a dinosaur not having lips. So the question is, would dinosaurs have had their teeth exposed, or would they have had fleshy coverings protecting their teeth? This is not only one of the most hotly debated topics that's argued about, mostly not by actual paleontologists, but just regular people who like dinosaurs, but it's also one of the most toxic, weirdly enough. I'd say that between did dinosaurs have lips and did dinosaurs have feathers, those are probably the 2 hottest topics, and for some reason, a lot of people take it in a really strange direction. I've even seen people say that dinosaurs having feathers or lips is part of a woke agenda. I have no idea what an animal having lips or exposed teeth has to do with any sort of political stance, but honestly, these are often the people who say that feathered dinosaurs could not have been scary, and those people must just not be very experienced in life overall because they have never encountered any bird at all, let alone a Canada goose. So let's dive in. Did dinosaurs have lips? Well, dinosaur is a really wide category. This would be like asking, do dogs have spots? Well, some dogs certainly do, but you can't make the claim that every single dog does. And just because some dogs did doesn't mean all dogs have to. So let's try to narrow things down a little bit. Since lips are made out of skin and flesh, they can't really fossilize. So unless we hit the very low odds of ending up with some sort of lip imprint in sediment, there's really no way for sure to tell if an animal had lips through their fossilized remains. But there are ways to tell if an animal did not have lips. For example, we know from fossilized evidence that ceratopsians like Styracosaurus and dinosaurs in families related to animals like Stegosaurus and Ankylosaurus had beaks with teeth in the very back to chew up and grind plant matter, so no lips here. Of course, their mouth would have progressed beyond the beak, and they would have had, flesh covering the back end of their mouth, but that's not really the kind of lip that we're talking about, and we don't need to dive too deep into semantics here. We also know that it's not just herbivores that likely had beaks. Animals like Oviraptor have also been shown to have beaks based on their fossilized remains. And of course, there's the very easy category of not dinosaurs, the pterosaurs, that are known to really all have beaks. Some of them had beak-like mouth structures that were beaks at the very end, but again, those aren't really the kind of lips we're talking about, so generally, pterosaurs, no lips. For herbivores like sauropods and hadrosaurs, their mouth shape and tooth structure definitely suggests that their teeth were not exposed to the elements, and even if many hadrosaurs had a beak or beak-like structure at the front of their mouth, there would have been a lip-like structure behind it. So sauropods and hadrosaurs, sort of lip, sort of not. Depends on the animal, but their teeth were definitely covered. And this isn't really a controversy. I don't think I've ever seen anyone drawing an herbivore with its teeth sticking out, but honestly, that sounds kind of creepy. There's also another not dinosaur on this piece, Mosasaurus, at about the 11 o'clock, and I specifically included Mosasaurus here because it has relatives that are still alive today, monitor lizards. And monitor lizards have exactly the kind of lips we're talking about when we talk about dinosaur lips. Fleshy coverings that keep the teeth protected, but they can't really snarl or move their lips around the way a mammal can. So mosasaurs likely had lips, and this also sets into motion kind of the idea of what a dinosaur lip would look like versus a mammalian lip. Other ancient marine reptiles like plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs, a little bit harder to figure out since they don't really have any living relatives today, and there are oceanic and marine animals where their teeth are exposed. So it does make sense that, especially for animals with thin fish-catching teeth, that there could have been teeth exposed, but there's not a ton of evidence either way. So I don't really judge how marine reptiles are drawn in terms of lips because, stuff from the ocean is kind of weird anyway. So this so far seems pretty cut and dry. We've really knocked some of these dinos and not dinos out of here. So what's the big deal? Well, as you might expect, the main topic of this controversy involves animals like Tyrannosaurus rex, Velociraptor, and Spinosaurus, especially since the way that these animals have been typically portrayed in media shows them with their teeth out. For mammalian species, lips are used for a lot. You can use them to show off your teeth in a snarl, express other emotions. They can be used to augment the noises you're making, and for humans, that obviously also includes speech. For modern-day reptiles with lips, however, the lip really only serves its core purpose, to cover and protect the teeth. Reptiles cannot snarl or bare their teeth in the same way that, for example, a dog can. This is the reason that, for the most part, defense or intimidation poses in reptiles include their mouth being wide open. This is really the only way they can show you that they have sharp teeth and you shouldn't mess with them. So, if the main purpose of reptilian lips is to protect the teeth, the only reason that teeth would be exposed or lips would not exist is because they would be too large to be covered by lips, or there would be no need to protect the teeth. You can immediately disregard that last point because in any environment, harsh or not, having your teeth exposed to the elements creates a lot of problems if your teeth aren't of a very specific mineral makeup. The enamel can wear away, nerves can be exposed, infection risks are higher, so generally for most species of most lifestyles, having your teeth covered is really, really good for your chances of survival. Scientists have determined that animals like T-Rex and Velociraptor likely had lips because their teeth are in surprisingly good condition you would not expect if these teeth were constantly exposed to wind, rain, and dust. Dr. Thomas Cullen, an assistant professor in geosciences, states, quote, "The teeth of these theropod dinosaurs did not experience wear and tear like a crocodile and most likely had a lip-like covering. We reconstructed soft tissue anatomy, compared dental measurements, and studied dental health and wear records to further uncover that what you are used to seeing on the big screen is not accurate." So there you go, much to the dismay of a very strange subsection of movie buffs, animals like T-Rex, Velociraptor, and all their relatives likely had lips. However, part of that quote brings us to our final pickle. Quote, "The teeth of these theropod dinosaurs did not experience wear and tear like a crocodile." End quote. So last but certainly not least is Spinosaurus and all of its relatives, dinosaurs that are thought to have lived very similar lives to modern-day crocodiles, including their tooth shape and jaw shape. So does this mean that Spinosaurids had exposed teeth like modern-day crocodilians do? This is where the "did dinosaurs have lips" controversy gets kind of muddy, because there is plenty of research to support the idea that certain types of other dinosaurs did have lips. But the results around Spinosaurus, as you can guess because nothing about Spinosaurus is straightforward, is pretty unclear. Many people believe that Spinosaurids likely had their teeth exposed like crocodilians due to the similar lifestyles, especially because modern crocodilians are not very well streamlined. They're ambush predators, not pursuit predators. And since it's believed that Spinosaurids were likely the same, maybe they did not need the reduction in water resistance that having lips would create. Additionally, if an animal is aquatic or semi-aquatic, their teeth are constantly exposed to moisture, so the animal would not necessarily need lips to keep the teeth moist and healthy. So unfortunately, the question, did Spinosaurus have lips, is completely dependent on the answer to a different unknown question. How aquatic was Spinosaurus? If Spinosaurids were semi-aquatic to largely aquatic, then their teeth would have been routinely exposed to moisture and may not have needed to be covered. However, if Spinosaurids were only minimally aquatic and took on the role of more of a shorebird like a heron or stork, maybe their teeth would not have been as routinely moisturized and may have needed to be covered. Of course, this also means that there could have been variation between different species of Spinosaurids. If one species was more aquatic than another, maybe it had less coverings over its teeth. But if there was a species that was more akin to a shorebird lifestyle, it might have had more lips, so it really could have also varied between the different types of Spinosaurids and their different activities and environments. Unfortunately, once again though, the Spinosaurus is truly the big question mark in the dinosaur world. We really don't know, and it depends on a lot of factors that we just don't have answers for right now. As a whole though, it seems pretty conclusive that most dinosaurs that did not have beaks or beak-like structures would have had lips of some sort. And to me, this just makes sense. There are very few situations in the modern day where a land-living animal has its teeth exposed for the majority of the time. And in recent history, in an evolutionary perspective, this was also the case. Even the vast majority of saber-toothed cats, who are known for having ginormous teeth, had those teeth covered by lips. There are a few species, the most famous ones, where those teeth did extend beyond the lips and outside of the mouth. But many saber-tooth or scimitar-toothed cats had those teeth covered by lips, because they need to be in order to keep those teeth healthy and strong, which will keep that animal fed and alive. So let me know what you think down below in the comments, especially regarding Spinosaurus. Do you think it had a crocodile mouth, or do you think it had lips? And how do you feel about other dinosaurs having lips? Overall, I just want to hear from you about this very controversial topic. I'd like to end by reminding you that humans do something that really no other animal does with their lips. They show their teeth in not a threat display, but rather an expression of joy. So, as always, remember to smile.